Hi guys, and welcome to my 16th tutorial on HTML and web structure, and in this tutorial I'm gonna talk about JavaScript forms. You already know how the functions work, which is crucial in this tutorial, and you also know how the forms work. Now, JavaScript forms, I call it JavaScript forms, but there is no difference as to the forms we use in HTML. In fact, we will use HTML forms, but with the JavaScript functions. That's why I call it JavaScript forms, and because we will use events, we will create an event, which will trigger some kind of action, or basically a function, in which we have our data, our information, our code, which will be executed and displayed to the screen of the user. Now, depending on the event, we have 3 or 4 different types actually. We will mostly use an on-click event. I can tell you that from the beginning. We will mostly use this one because whenever you go to any page, you will see buttons everywhere, and most of them, if not all, work on pretty much the same basis. So you click, mouse down, up, that's a click, and some kind of event happens. I don't know, maybe you will get to a different page, or you will be redirected, or you will see a picture, you will see whatever link, so whatever it will be, some kind of will be triggered, some kind of event will be triggered. And so pretty much you have to start with forms. You can start with forms, you can start with JavaScript function. You already know how to create forms. So form equals name, some kind of name, so for I don't know, example, like this. You can close the form. So form closed. Now add the components. You can add a textbox, for example. Text. I'm too fast with it. You can also notice that I've implemented the HTML5 at the top there. Doc type HTML. It's HTML5, and because I actually downloaded Google Chrome, I have Google Chrome now here, as you can see. I can use forms pretty much every type of control it has. Now, if I were to use my Microsoft Internet Explorer, I probably wouldn't get most of the components. So there wouldn't be no point of doing this tutorial, right? Okay, so input type. Let's add an text box, text, and name it. We need to name our components. If we go with JavaScript and you go to these levels like creating functions and stuff like this, arrays, functions, next you will have objects and stuff like this. In this tutorial I will show you objects as well, and you have to name your stuff, because if you don't name it, you won't be able to access it. So this is very crucial. You have to actually name your stuff, and you can name it any way you like, but you have to remember that each object should have, or each control should have its name. If you have controls, for example radio buttons, 3 radio buttons, you can name them the same way. Depends on you actually. Anyway, input name, we don't have to add a value because it's a text box, and we will add the button. So input type button. You can actually do this. You can use input type button, which will create an empty button. Value, let's say, I don't know if this will work. Click. And you can also name it, but we will not use it. Button. Now, when we use the button, as I said, we will add an event. We don't have to add it to the button, but this is most likely the place you will put your event in. And the event I'm going to show you today is on click. Now, I don't think you have to write it like this. You can write it with a lowercase letter like this. It will work probably. It should work without a problem. And I just prefer to do it like this. I don't know. And most of people probably prefer to do it like this. It's just, I don't know, syntax. On click inside, we will state the function. Now we don't have the function, so it's simple, empty. I will leave it empty. Now, in the head, I have to create my JavaScript. So as you remember, you say script, language, and type basically JavaScript. Close the script, and we can add our function now. So you already know how to do the function from the previous tutorial. Function, so I'm going to name display, for example. Alright, something like this. Now, if I do something like this, can I use these things? Can I use this text box? No. The answer is no. Can I use stuff from this text box or any other control? No, I can't. Why is that? That is because I don't have access to them. I cannot simply say input box form or something, blah, blah, blah. I have to pass this, and most of the time you will pass stuff to your function, and you will pass the object. Now, if you want to use this this control, for example, use its name or output its name, I don't know, or output its value, whatever it is, or check if it's selected, you have to use an object. Now, when you create an object, you have to pass it. Now, I will just add it now. So obj, you don't have to do anything else. So obj, a simple object, which I will pass from the event. Now, I have the function. I will just have to do some kind of, I don't know, I will put it in the alert. And inside, I will show you in a minute, actually, because first I want to show you this. So here we call our function. So display, simple call statement, display, and inside, because we pass the object, we have to create the object like. So this means this form, this component, this dot form. So this form, and create this object, send it to the display. It will send the data with it. There you go. There, object obj will retrieve the data. And what's good about the objects is that whenever you have 10 of those components or just 2, the object will contain all the names, all the data you will need from those components. So if you create one object, it will contain everything from this form. So it's an object of the form. So you create object of the form and then send it to your function. Then you take it to the object retrieves the information, and now you can use the object to manipulate or use, display, calculate, whatever you want, the stuff inside the components of the form. And that's how it works. So obj is the object we have. Dot, we have to use dots because we go with the flow like thing, tree like. Object is the highest value, highest branch, let's say, or root if you want. If you start from the low root, then you have a higher I don't know, maybe branch, another branch, sub branch, whatever you want to call it. So object, then we want to access the name, for example, of the component. Object is for this form, so I can only access components from this form. And if I want to access something, I have to specify the name. So for example, if I want to access the button, this button, if I want to access it, I have to specify this name. If I want to access this text box, I have to specify this name. Not name, object.name, but object.input or object.button, like this. So input, because I'm interested in the text box, object.input that, and I will have a value, because this is what I'm interested in, value of the input box. So value, like this. Now I don't have to do anything else. It will simply output for me whatever is inside the box. You can type in something, and then it will be outputted. Or you can and you can use it for different purpose. You can take this value and store it in a variable. Now in the function you have a variable, store it in the variable, and use it to compare, for example, strings. You can compare the strings, you can compare the results. So for example, if someone gives you the answer, you can compare it with your already given answer. That's how you can create a quiz pages, for example. So you have an already stored correct answer. For example, you compare two strings if they are the same, ignoring the case, lowercase and uppercase, ignoring this. If they have the same values and they have the same characters, then the answer is correct, right? So it's pretty easy to establish. That's how you get the stuff from the boxes, from the radio buttons and stuff like this. If I just save this now, save and output this for you, you will see a box, text box, button. If I click it, you will see nothing. If I add something and click it, you will see text inside. Whatever I input will be displayed. So pretty much simple. This is onClick, and onClick, you can do pretty much anything with it. You learn about arrays in JavaScript, you learn about functions. Functions are very crucial, as you can see. Arrays as well are very crucial, because you can use different number of the same things or different things. You can just interchange them in one place, in one name of the variable like thing. So that's how the onClick works. Now there are, as I said, different events. onClick is the most famous, I would say, because, well, whenever you go to any page, I'm sure it will have onClick event, and that is because I think it's most popular. Very popular is also onload. So onload simply does onload itself, I think, explanatory. When page loads, some kind of function is executed. Pretty much that's what happens. So onload, you don't press buttons, you don't move pictures, whatever you want to do. You don't do it. You just simply open the page and everything loads that's in the function. That's onload. You have onChange. onChange doesn't work with buttons, I think. No, it doesn't work with buttons. It works with text boxes. So let's delete this. Oh, one more thing. You don't actually have to do it. If you want to use the function, you want to use the event, but you don't want to pass anything, this is pretty much valid. You don't have to pass anything. You don't need to pass the objects, or you can display stuff, which I'm going to show you right now. So as you can see, I'm not passing anything. I'm not creating objects. I'm not passing any objects and information. I just simply want to alert user. If I save this, print screen, this is a message. You see, nothing gets displayed from the text box. I simply click it, and this is a message, and it should be a. Never mind. So as you can see, you can also do it without the use of objects. So, but as I said, if you want to use the stuff from the other components, you have to use objects. Otherwise, you won't be able to use them. Okay, so onClick, I already showed you, and now I will show you with the text box. With the text box, you simply add event with the text box. So you can add it here or here. It depends on the event you want to create. Now, onClick with the text box it's not very useful, because it tends to be rubbish. I don't know. It doesn't really work that way. That's why you have buttons. That's the purpose of the button. When you click it, something will happen, right? But you have also onChange. onChange works on basis of when you change something in the text box and approve it. So for example, you change something and then click somewhere else, so that's approve it, or enter, I don't know, a return key, and the function will be triggered. So after you enter, and now you have a couple of uses of that. So I will just use display function. You have a couple of uses of that. First of all, you can do something like this. So I will simply F5 this. So I write something. As you can see, function is not triggered yet. But if I do something like this, I simply release it or press enter, you will see the function is executed. It works on the pretty much similar basis, where you have to, I think, enter. Yeah, enter works as well. So return, you can return stuff. So that's one way of using it. Now another way is to pass the object, of course, and you can now this dot form So you pass the object, create the object, pass it, obj, and inside the alert, instead of doing this, we can do if statement now. So if object obj that name of the control, so input, that value is equal, I don't remember actually, it's equal or double equal, I think it's double. I don't actually remember this, so much time I actually used it, so I don't remember the syntax. So if value is nothing, the hell, okay, alert box, display alert box with there is nothing inside, something like this. Otherwise, you can add else statement just to prove it that there is something in the box, and you also alert there is something in the box, like this. So pretty simple use. With the if statement, as you can see, I'm already using this if statement. I don't know if this double equal sign will work actually here. In most programming languages, because I program on normal programming languages, I use double equal sign to compare the values. I don't remember actually. I will check right now. F5. It should work. Let's click it. I want it on change. I should be on click. Actually, I will do it on click. Yeah. I'll copy this one. Yeah, because on change it will actually, I'll have to put something in to change it. So that doesn't really work on click and equals this. Alright, so let's save this again. Check it again. Yeah, there's something in the box. When I delete this, delete it, there's nothing in the box. There's nothing inside. So as you can see, it works. Actually, the double equal sign is correct one. So my hunch was correct. Nevertheless, okay, I showed you this one. So as you can see, you can use the information to check whether something inside the box can be string, it can be value, you can use value, it can be a number. You can check it with the variable or assign it to a variable, do calculations with it if you want, and output it for the user. So for example, user enters 5 plus 5. You can separate it into parts, into different boxes. So for example, if user one is, let's say you have 2 boxes, like calculator, 2 boxes, one is for first value, second for second value, and you have, for example, 4 buttons, which are plus, minus, divide, multiply signs, and then whichever he clicks, in the third label or text box, whatever it is, will be displayed the result of those 2 numbers, adding or subtracting or whatever. So that's how you can use it pretty much. There are other events, as I said, on click. I showed you on click. I didn't show you on load. It's pretty simple. You just use it. On click, on load, on change, and there is one more which I don't remember actually. I don't think I will remember it right now. Sorry guys. Unfortunately, I cannot remember it. So I cannot. You can find it. There's just 5 of them. I think 5 or 6 most. Well, you mostly use on click. So this is the most crucial one. This is the one I wanted to show you. As I said, mostly useful and used by people. There are a lot of pages. I mentioned something about the HTML5. Previously, I used Internet Explorer, so I couldn't show you actually anything with HTML5. Now I can. I don't know if I remember actually HTML5. Alright, I will just show you with the text. Actually, I have the textbox already. So, what was it? Prerequisite. What was the name of this container? I don't remember right now. Placeholder. Now, placeholder is something like this. As you can see, there is a text inside the text box. Enter text, and it's gray. But when I click it, it should. When I enter something, actually, it will disappear. Not when I click it, but when I enter something. So when I enter something, enter text. So it's like a hunch, or like you tell the user what to do in this text box. So you can use this one to notify the user what to input, so that it doesn't have to input some kind of strings of numbers or whatever it is. So for example, inputs number from 0 to 10 or something like this. But when you enter it, it will simply disappear. If you again delete it, it will appear again. So this is quite useful when you create pages. As you can probably see on multiple pages with the forms, you will have a placeholder which will show you enter name, enter surname, enter phone, whatever it is. And this will actually help you or help the user or whatever it is to enter appropriate information. So we can use this one. I don't actually remember the other one, but as you can see, this one works, so probably the other one will work as well. I just remember this one right now. Unfortunately, I don't have the other one, and I don't remember it. It was a long time ago since I used it. Anyway, this is the code. As I said, play around with it because there are a couple of events. Play around with the on-click event. You can play around with the placeholders, and this is mostly used for text boxes, not for buttons. You don't use it for buttons, it's for text boxes. So use it for text boxes and sorts of things like this. Emails, yeah, mostly text boxes, the text box type thing, but there are different text boxes. For example, range, not range, maybe telephone. You have telephone box, in the HTML file you have email, and so you can use it with those. And actually, I think I remember, but I don't know if this will work. Let me just try it. What was it? No, I don't remember it. Alright, nevertheless, and this is the end of the tutorial. If you like my videos, subscribe on the channel, on my videos. Still loads of stuff to come. HTML finished, CSS finished, JavaScript will come to finish very soon. There's 2 or 3 tutorials left to do for me. And then, after the animations, I will show you how to work on PHP. PHP is a scripting language, and it's very useful, especially with the databases, with XML. And I will explain XML to you as well, so don't worry about this. If you don't know XML, everything will be explained. I will show you how to operate on the basic databases. So you operate on the database, very basic one. I'm not gonna show you some kind of fascinating stuff with databases. I'm not very I'm not master of the databases myself, so I cannot show you pretty much advanced stuff on database. But interesting stuff is coming soon. C++, yeah, interesting stuff is starting as well. If you're interested in C++ and different languages, we are already in the classes, and so visit my webpage, and you will find many things, many tutorials if you're interested in different programming languages than this one. So as I said, this is the end. I will meet you in my next tutorial, and see you till then. Bye.